Hey everybody, Ryan Paulson coming from my kids' shooting room. Hope you got to see my first video that I did on this chipping series, and I wanted to piggyback off of that chipping lesson and talk a little bit about how we can now control our trajectory, also known as kind of the height of our shot, which would also control the distance that the ball runs or rolls out. Thank you for the feedback from the last video. I had some big pushback on my attire that I was wearing, so I'm sorry about that. So I figured might as well look like a golf pro today, and to be honest, it feels very good to put on some work clothes. So here we go. Let's recap what we talked about real quick in the first chipping session or lesson. I want feet narrow, nice and close together. I want our ball position centered to slightly back towards our right foot. I want our chest a little bit forward or kind of opening up those shoulders, trying to level those shoulders out as I'm setting up here. And a slight forward shaft lean. Okay? That's the setup. And then we talked about the actual stroke, and kind of what I wanted you to work on was getting this club to go more around and more in front of our body. Okay? So that's kind of just recapping session one. Today, let's talk about that trajectory distance control, okay? Now, I'll show you basically the first, call it your basic chip, mid-trajectory, okay? And also just remember, we're a few steps off the green here, okay? 5, 6 steps off the green. We're not way back hitting from 20, 30 yards, which would be more of a pitch shot, okay? This is a chip shot. We're off the green. We don't have the option to putt, okay? Long, rough, whatever. We just don't have the option to putt here, okay? So here's our first mid trajectory shot. Okay. It's a ping pong ball, by the way. You can use that indoors to chip with. Highly recommend it. Now, I'm a big believer in chipping a lot with one wedge, okay? I use my 58 a lot, basically everywhere around the green, unless the circumstance requires a longer shot, something that's going to roll out more, okay? So I'm just a big believer. Find that wedge you like. A lot of people are going, might be their 60, might be a 56 degree. Fall in love with it. Use it a lot. I'm a big believer in using that same wedge around the green everywhere, okay? Now let's pretend I do have a lot of green to work with, okay? Maybe I'm going up a slope, and so it does require a little bigger swing if I were to use my, let's say, 58 degree, okay? So I would say, let's make it a little simpler. Let's use the same stroke, okay? Same setup. Grab a pitching wedge, 9-iron maybe. I have a 9-iron right here. I'm not a huge fan of a 7-iron. I know that was a big shot people tended to use. Maybe they still use it, but just not a big believer in a 7-iron around the greens, because that requires a heck of a lot of touch and feel to be able to hit a 7-iron that's soft and doesn't roll out too far, okay? So let's go pitching wedge 9-iron for these longer bump and run, longer rollout shots, okay? Same setup, ball position, middle to slightly back towards our right foot, a little bit of that lean forward with our chest, okay? And a little bit of that slightly lean forward here, okay? There's that low running chip shot, okay? Third one. Now we need a high soft shot, okay? This would be when, again, you don't have a lot of green to work between you and the pin. You need something to get up a little higher, land softer with less roll, okay? We're gonna stick with the same basic setup. Where's my ping pong ball? Basic setup here. The only thing we're going to change two things, okay? I want you to move your ball position a little bit more towards forward or towards your left foot. So now we're kind of middle. And I want you to take that club face and I want you to angle it a little open, okay? So maybe we go from, just a couple degrees open, all right? Then take your grip. That's important when we're opening up the club. Open it, then let's take our grip, okay? Face is open, ball position's a little forward. Here, same exact stroke. Okay, there's my high trajectory soft chip, okay? Hope that helps. Please give me some more feedback. I would love the feedback, and I would really like some ideas of videos you'd like me to shoot. Thanks.